So I'm here with the audio-technica ATH-M50, and I've been recommending these for years. They're still really great headphones, but they've been ousted as one of the top 3 headphones in the $100 to $200 price range on headphonemecca.com. Gasp, you must say. What on earth could have replaced that of these M50s? I know a lot of you have bought them, a lot of you have loved them, and again, they're still really awesome headphones, but there's a brand new contender I feel is superior, and that is the Philips CitiScape Uptown. Now, the CitiScape Uptown were announced at CES 2012, and they've been out on the market for less than 3 or 4 weeks. These literally are brand new. And I must say, they have incredibly impressed me. The last Philips product I reviewed was the Philips O'Neill the Stretch, which I gave a terrible review. And in fact, I said it was the worst pair of headphones I had ever listened to. Well, Philips redeemed themselves with these, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting much. I went out and bought these for retail, which is $149 at Best Buy, and I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but they were new. There were not any reviews on them, so I decided I'd pick them up, and holy cow, am I astounded. Not only is the quality top-notch, I mean, you have this beautiful leather surrounding the whole pair of headphones, all the way around the headband, and you have this beautiful aluminum, band here. The quality in these is top notch. I mean, the padding is some of the most comfortable padding I've ever used. They do clamp a little bit more tightly than some headphones around your head, but because the pads are so soft and because they breathe so well, these are literally the most comfortable headphones I've used. I can go hours without having to take these off. The stitching on this is remarkable. Build quality is, beyond top notch. It just is really, really, really well manufactured, really well done. And I'm very, very impressed to see Philips kind of redeem themselves with these headphones, because as we all know, those O'Neill the Stretch were not very good. So the build quality is great. They look really nice. The cable is quite good. My only qualm with them is this little controller. Rather than having your standard up, down, and center click button, you have a microphone, a single click button to play, pause, fast forward, and go backwards. But to adjust volume, there's actually this little slider on the headphones. I don't like this. It's a manual gain, and because of this, it gets shielding. It gets kind of cable noise when you don't have it on full blast. So you still do have to control the volume from your main device rather than modify it through here, which just doesn't sound good. So that's something that really bothered me, but other than that, it truly is excellent. The cable connection down here is really, really good. I could have cared less for this spaghetti style cord. I'm never really a fan of these, but it did hold up. It didn't tangle too badly, and so I took away having it be a pretty solid cable. It did get occasional cable noise, again, especially so when this volume wasn't on full max, but other than that, it really did hold its own in terms of build quality to everything else in this price range, like the ATH-M50, like the Shure SRH-840, and beyond. But obviously, with a pair of headphones, sound is the top priority, so what does the Philips Uptown bring that separates it from the rest, or at least deserves, or at least earns it a spot in this very, very tough $150 market? Well, let me tell you, it has an amazing sound spectrum. Rather than the Audio-Technica ATH-M50, which is a very, very severe V with a lot of bass, a lot of treble, and not too much mids, this is a lot more balanced. There is still a little bit of retraction inside of the mids, but it's not as much as that of the M50s. You still do get a really, really nice bass. Not quite as powerful as the M50s, but close. They'll hold their candlestick up to it. When you're putting dubstep and hip-hop through these headphones, it can really rattle your head. And the cans do rattle without bleeding into the mids, without overpowering the trebles, and especially so without distortion. And so that sounded really, really good. And alternatively, the trebles were really, really sibilant, and not sibilant in a bad way, sibilant in a good way. You'd be listening to some rock or something, and you'd hear a crash, or you'd hear a percussive instrument, and it just rang through the entire track, which I loved, and which was something the M50s simply didn't bring. Soundstage on this is excellent. There sounded like stuff was coming out of nowhere. I really, really like the imaging on here. Vocals sounded excellent, and that's because of that mid section. Like I stated before, the M50 has really a lot of bass and a lot of treble, but there's not too much mid ground. And the Uptown do have really, really nice mids. Guitar solos were shredding. Female vocalists were incredibly prominent and dominant in the track, which I loved. It's super lush and super warm. It's not a very accurate way to listen to music. I mean, these are not accurate headphones, but they are so enjoyable because of that warmth, because of that really dominant bass, along with that really smooth mid section. One thing I do want to mention is the bass and the mids really never bled together, which is unprecedented in headphones in this price range. It really surprised me that they stayed so isolated. It really was nice. One thing I also want to mention is Philips has this thing called Music Seal. I thought it was just a bit of a marketing gimmick, but basically what it says is no sound comes in, no sound comes out. Now, these are active noise canceling. There is no noise cancellation technology inside of this, but these cups are so well built and so well isolated that you really can get complete silence. When you put these on your ears, you cannot hear your outside surroundings when music is playing. I mean, you're on an airplane, you don't hear the airplane. You're on public transportation, you don't hear people, you don't hear buses, you just don't hear any of that. Conversely, no sound leaks out. I hate it when sound leaks out, and the M50s did leak quite a bit. These leak zero, none. It was actually almost amazing. My mouth literally dropped when I saw this happen. My brother put these headphones on at nearly full gain, full volume, which is loud. And when he put them on his ears, it was like, boom, the music stopped playing. I could hear it ever so slightly, but I had to be about 2 feet away, and that's on maximum volume. So if you listen to it at any volume that's reasonable, people are not going to hear what you're listening to, which is really nice. I love these headphones. I was not expecting a whole lot, but I must say the build quality and the sound quality supersedes a lot of other headphones, not just in this price range, but beyond. I don't think it holds a candlestick up to what's currently listed as the best sound on Headphone Mecca, but it's close. I mean, it really does sound nice. It rivals the Shure SRH 840, and it does have sound characteristics more like the Shure SRH 840 because it does have that mid section it focuses on. It does have the trebles along with a little bit of bass. I love these. I do prefer them to the ATH M50s, which I now find to be too bassy and too washed out. I think you should check them out. And don't freak out if you have the M50s and say, oh no, my headphones are terrible, because the M50s are still great headphones. But Philips blew me away. I was not expecting a whole lot, and I came away from it getting a lot more than I was expecting. The Philips Uptown get a absolute Snazzy Labs approved award. They're listed on Headphone Mecca as the best looks, and I really think you should check them out. Give them a shot. Go to Best Buy, pick them up. $150, that's pretty much where they are everywhere. You can't find them much cheaper because they are brand new. But one can only assume with time they'll drop in price. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.